Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, Jenny from the block. We all love her. We all know her music. We love the fact that J-Lo has sustained her career for so long. I'm proud of her as a mixed woman, a Latino woman. I love seeing, people of color, people who are not just, plain Jane make it, because it's nice. It shows that we can appreciate different cultures and different styles. She's one of my favorites and always has been one of my favorites. But now I'm going to talk about what I think is going on, really based on what I saw from her new movie that she put together, and basically also helped fund, which I heard all sorts of rumors about, allegations that many people told her not to do this. Many of her own friends, her own co-stars that she's starred in movies with, have told her not to do this movie. I feel like you really, really went out of your way to try to explain yourself to the public, and this was not necessary for your brand. Now, they are saying that Jennifer Lopez movie, This Is Me Now, is on the top of Amazon's albums and #1 on iTunes. Typical media trying to push that it's #1. I don't think it's #1. I think that the movie might be in Amazon because people are curious to know what this movie is about. Many of us are talking about it, but I don't think her songs were in fact, I fast forwarded through all of her singing in the movie because let's just face it, Jennifer Lopez, her voice isn't great. But I've always loved Jennifer's style, her fashion. She's a fashion icon. She's also very well put together woman out on the outside, appearance-wise. But let's talk about the inside. Jennifer Lopez gave me a real glimpse, and I had to write down some notes from this. First of all, this movie is a musical, and it's constant singing and dancing. So if you're not interested in that, don't waste your time. It's like watching a music video inside of a movie. It uses a load of CGI. I mean, almost every scene felt very CGI related. Like it didn't seem like it was even J-Lo at times. It felt like it was very AI. The entire movie is based on J-Lo trying to give us a glimpse into why she's the way she is, why she has had so many marriages. And it feels very forced. Like it's like she really wants us to believe the narrative that it's just because she is a hopeless romantic. She's enamored with the idea of true love and finding her true love. What I found was that Jennifer Lopez is more like a broken record. She keeps picking the wrong person consistently over and over, and she has not learned the lessons that she needs to learn from the relationships she did have. She also seems like a person that lacks a lot of self-examination. One of the things that stood out in this movie to me was the size of her palatial mansion in it. I don't want to show everything because it'll ruin the whole movie for you. But I was thinking to myself, well, the reason you feel so damn alone, girl, is because you're in a giant ass mansion. And of course a mansion is going to feel empty. Many of us that have smaller houses, it feels homey. When you come home and you've got a room next door and you can hear the person and you can have conversations, it's more intimate. A lot of these celebrities live in mansions that are just way too big. I'm talking, the one pictured in this movie seemed like it was like a 20,000 square foot mansion. Of course you would feel alone. The couch alone was the size of my entire living room. Here's the thing. I realize Neil deGrasse Tyson has money to make. He's a well-known name, recognizable brand. But him being in this movie, amongst many others like Sanguru, I was just blown away. I'm like, what the hell is Neil deGrasse Tyson and Sanguru doing in a movie like this? Tell me this isn't real. I thought it was almost like they CGI'd them into it or just put an AI. I mean, I was like, listen, this is so off-brand. And I always knew this guy was a fraud just from the fact that, it's like when I watch people like Jay Shetty or, they're just too popular, too in the media. It's like, I get that you need to make money, but bro, this is so off-brand, not appropriate. Also, I didn't like that J-Lo it was almost like she was poking fun of herself in this movie and saying like, what's the problem with me wanting to find love? What's the problem with me meeting another guy and falling in love with him? Like, you guys are all alone. And like, she goes, oh my God, there's so many scenes in here that I'm just like, I don't know what this was supposed to be about. I think J-Lo is mentally, in my opinion, she's mentally needing help. That's what I'm going to leave it at. I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose mental illness, but I can see crazy from a mile away. And I'm telling you, she really needs to go get a real therapist. As I was watching this, I was like, girl, you need to get up and walk away from Fat Joe because he's not a good therapist. Obviously, I'm joking here. He's not a therapist. But you need to go find a real therapist because this isn't working. J-Lo also seems, in my opinion, and I'm not a medical doctor, to seem to have a little bit of like a narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. She has a personality of a person that she needs to make herself the center of attention. I feel and I fear that she goes and gets married because she likes the feeling of being married, or the build up to being married, right? Like that need to feel important and that everybody's rooting for her. And then once she gets the thing she wants, which is supposedly marriage and true love, it starts to fall apart. And in the movie, there were moments that were touching to me. Don't get me wrong. Like when she was talking to her quote unquote therapist, which is played by Fat Joe, about why she feels this way. And it really boils down to self-love and the importance of loving yourself enough to where you don't need to look outward for other people's validation and love. You can look for that love inside. It's like I always tell people when they're trying to find themselves, just look at what you like. Don't worry about what other people like for you. And I feel like J-Lo is one of those people. She wants to put on this front that she's perfect and she's happy and that she has true love with Ben Affleck. But in the movie, it just seemed so strange that Ben Affleck's character is played by a news anchor. It's clearly him in that costume. And it just seemed like, what was going on here? Like, I don't understand. You're talking about your love life. Your husband is egging you on, apparently, in some ways, by being in the movie. And at the end of the day, did you find true love, or are you still looking? Because that's how I walked away from this thinking, I'm not sure I'm not sure. I mean, that's the picture she wants us to give, is that she found true love and she understands that she just needed to love herself first. But I've seen enough pictures of Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez together to know this does not look like a long-lasting, happy union. I mean, this guy never looks happy. Let's agree that he's not always the most cheerful. He's kind of like a Harry and Meghan. They always have this face of like they're not really happy. But I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship, but just the judging from how Ben Affleck's demeanor is when he's around her, it doesn't seem sincere. I mean, there's example after example. You don't have to look hard on the internet for them. It's just how their relationship is. I just think Jennifer is a hopeless romantic. I feel like she likes the feeling of getting to know someone and fall in love with them. And once the wedding occurs, she is bored. That's really how I feel. And I mean, I literally had to take notes because there was just so much in this that I was like, this is definitely a movie you're going to fast forward through. You're not going to be able to just understand what's going on. And at the end of the day, you're still going to be left asking a lot of questions, like, is J-Lo truly happy? But given that she's married a backup dancer, she's had children with Mark Anthony, she was in love with him, she's in love with this guy, she's in love with everyone. Alex Rodriguez made her very happy. I don't know that she knows how to actually settle down and find true love. Plus, here's the other thing I was going to point out. Hollywood is like living in sin, all right? Hollywood is a place of sin. And to go to Hollywood and think you're going to find true love in Hollywood is a little far-fetched, right? That's like saying you're going to go find water in hell. It's just not going to happen. Hollywood is set up for relationships to fail. And I just think that she's way ahead of herself thinking that she's somehow found true love in Ben Affleck. I think give it a couple years from now and we're going to be seeing J-Lo saying she's going to look for her true love. She reminds me a lot of like Elizabeth Taylor. They have a hard time finding true love. Anyways, what do you guys think of it? She's fun to watch. She's entertaining on movies, but this girl really, really needs to go get some mental health.